Hi everyone, I'm Joshua Orro the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Well, it's time for my third Halloween blog of 2014, and this time I'll be blogging a monster movie, which not only is it a fairy tale that was written in the 19th century, but it's also one of my all-time childhood favorites. Released in the United States on June 3rd, 1994, the movie is The Princess and the Goblin. Now let's begin, shall we? Little Princess Irene is off playing in the woods when she's attacked by goblin pets. She is then saved by a young mining boy named Curdy. They quickly become friends, then later the goblins are planning to attack the kingdom, and Irene must rely on her own magic to save her family and the entire kingdom. So, what did I think of it? Well, I really liked it. Ever since the people at KinderCare showed it to me when I was like almost 4 years old. And I'm glad that my mom purchased it for me while it was still on VHS. Now, to be honest, like one of my earlier blogs, this is one of the few films that I consider to be underrated, and it's been a long time since I last watched it, and after recently watching it again, I still enjoy it, even if there are some parts that make me jump in fear. Now, it's time to go over my Mustang notes and find out some information I might know about this film. Now, The Princess and the Goblin is an adaptation of 1872's novel of the same name by George MacDonald. It was the first animated feature from Wales and the 25th full-length cartoon from Hungary. The film was produced by Welsh television station S4C and the Cardiff-based Serial Studio, along with Hungary's Panonia and Japan's NHK. Costing $10 million, the film teamed producer/screenwriter Robin Lyons and director Joseph James from 1982's Heroic Times, and most of the principal animation was produced at Serial Facilities. Now, even though I may not get it why, but even though this film was a critical and commercial disappointment, for which I don't understand why, The Princess and the Goblin did receive a seal of approval from the Dove Foundation and the Film Advisory Board, the Award of Excellence. Moreover, it won the Best Children's Film Award and the Fort Lauderdale International Film Festival. I just wonder if one of the reviewers I look up to will one day give it a seal of approval and not a seal of garbage. Anyway, what do I have to say about the animation of this movie? Well, I gotta say that the animation doesn't look too bad because it's in the ink and paint style. Like, for example, like stuff like the castle, the mines, the goblin's world underground, the forest, and the rushing water look absolutely great. And the background paintings look great too. They look almost like canvas paintings, though sometimes a bit three-dimensional at times. And now, this movie is not really much of a musical, but it does have one song in it though, called A Spark Inside Us, which they use as the movie's theme and what they use to scare up the goblins due to the fact that they hate music. Now, to be honest, personally, whenever I listen to that song in the movie, it makes me want to smile because it sounds so really relaxing. It's almost like something to throw your troubles away. And now it's time to talk about the characters of this film. Now, I gotta warn you that I may be doing a little bit of spoilers for each character, so I just don't Don't dislike me if I do that, though. Now, the main heroine, Princess Irene, is voiced by Sally Ann Marsh. She is a princess at the castle who lives with her widowed father, her devoted nanny Lootie, and her cat Turnip. More on him later. Now, personally, I like Irene. She's sweet, caring, and not afraid to follow her goals, even though there were some parts where she was frightened. She also makes me think of a little princess who I met up with in California Adventure several months ago. Plus, I just love Irene's English accent. It's so adorable. Next, we have Irene's friend Curdy, a mining warrior boy voiced by Peter Murray. Curdy works in the mines with his father. Now, I like this kid because he's like someone who I want to be friends with at times. Also, he's brave and really smart while investigating the underground tunnels in order to find out about the goblins' plans and their weaknesses. He's almost as in a similar style as Taran from the Black Cauldron. Whether using a rock club or a sword. Now, Irene's cat is one of my favorite characters in this movie. I can see that he has like a lot of personality. I mean, he's quite a clever cat. Mostly throughout this film, Turnip is never too far from Irene's side. And he even has a mouse to help him as well. Not to mention that Turnip isn't afraid to protect Irene from a goblin cat. And he did bite a goblin's leg inside a cabinet. Now that's badass. The next character I need to talk about is Irene's great-great-grandmother, also named Irene, voiced by Claire Bloom. She's like a magical angel that she says isn't real. I feel like this character is like a mix of the West Wind from the Unico movies and the Blue Fairy from Pinocchio. Now, Grandmother Irene resides in a hidden room in the castle towers, which Irene finds when she finds a hidden door with a rose on it in her bedchamber. Now, while she is a magical being, she does make a nice supporting character by spinning some thread, then later tying it to Irene's ring, which she uses it as a guide. And she also teaches Irene that she needs to think for herself in order to find her own magic. Lastly, she does heal Curdy's wounds near the end of the movie. Now the last character I need to talk about is the main villain and goblin prince, known as Prince Froglip, voiced by the recently departed Rick Mayall. Who voiced as one of the Falcons in Valiant, and had an unfortunate deleted role in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Now, to be completely honest, in my eyes, Froglip's the best character in the whole movie. No offense to his mother, who acts like a laughable Don Bluth troll. And his father, who had a huge sneezing problem like Sneezy does. Anyway, I know I should hate Froglip for being the villain, but I like Froglip because not only is he a threatening character, but he is also over-the-top silly. While the other goblins want to flood the mines above by building a huge wall made of rock and storing tons of water, Froglip wants to lead an attack on the people above and, what's worse, wants to marry Irene so he can rule them. Not to mention the fact that every time a single word comes out of his mouth, he always like sticks his tongue out in a lisp. Kind of like Sylvester from the Looney Tunes in a way. And now let's move on to my final words of this movie. Above all, The Princess and the Goblin is and will always be one of my childhood favorite movies ever. It teaches the importance of believing yourself along with friendships and not keeping things inside, as well as the power of singing. I would recommend this story to any child, whether being a boy or a girl. However, I should warn you that there are a few scary parts in this film. And while it is G-rating, I also suggest that adults should watch it with their kids. And don't worry, you'll all love it. I give this film a rating of 99%. Well, that's all for tonight, guys. So, what am I planning for my next blog? Well, that one's going to be a little bit of a surprise, because it's something kind of related to something that happened to me just a couple days ago. See you later, everyone. Mustang Power!
There's a power in every